Welcome to the Offers and Needs. There are some familiar names in here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are going to give it just another minute or two before we get started.
Afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Julie. Yes, this is being recorded.
Just want to invite you while you are waiting. You can feel free to just drop your name in the chat with any preferred pronouns, maybe your neighborhood, and one thing that you're passionate about. So just, your name, your neighborhood, any preferred pronouns, one thing that you're passionate about. What are the passions there in this room? They might be surfaced during this offers and needs market, so might as well get them out now. All right. Welcoming Lauren in Lakeview. Dominique in the South Suburbs, passionate about decreasing in food insecurity. Lauren's passionate about repairing our relationships with food. So just dropping that prompt in the chat again. If folks want to just introduce themselves in the chat, your name, your preferred pronouns, neighborhood, one thing you're passionate about. Mark in Hermosa likes learning how to grow plants indoors. Veronica in South Loop thinks about food's power to create community. Carmen is healing people with food. What are the other passions that we're surfacing in the room? Olu, Greater Grand Crossing, passionate about increasing access to fresh leafy greens. Hannah, back of the yards, cooking food. I made some broccoli cashew stir fry last night. It was darn good. I'm passionate about getting to eat that again. Maryland, Marquette Park, passionate about reconnecting to the earth through ag. Jennifer, Greater Inglewood community, passionate about building relationships around food. Matt, Avondale, cooking and sharing food. Marissa, passionate about helping others, which was that the first non-food related thing that we've had mentioned?
All right, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yes, let's go ahead and officially start. I just want to remind everybody that we are recording this meeting. Hello, I'm Alex Napick, and I'm a summit leader who contributed to the planning of the 17th annual Chicago Food Justice Summit, organized by the Chicago Food Policy and Action Council. CFPAC is an organization that co-develops, facilitates, and advocates for and supports implementation of policies that advance food justice and food sovereignty in Chicago and across the region. To access closed captioning for this session in English, you can opt to do so by clicking the three dots at the menu below where it says More, selecting Live Transcript, and then hitting the Enable button. This is the People's Market, Mapping Community Offers and Needs. With Mike. And once again, once this session is finished, we hope that you'll rejoin us in the virtual event platform. And to get things started, I will pass it over to Mike.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you very much. Really appreciate everyone dropping into this session today. This is going to be a participatory session, so I hope that you came to participate. I want to recommend that if you do not have one, you might want to grab yourself something to write with and a piece of paper, because you will need something like that a little bit later so that we can actually do a little bit of reflection. And so I want to drop into a screen share and show you what we'll be working with today. So we've already done a little bit of welcoming and a little bit of hosting here, so we'll get right past that. On the agenda, we have welcomed you, and we'll continue to do more welcoming throughout the day, and you will be invited to host yourself. So take care of your body, take care of your needs. And when you all go into potentially, we may need those breakout rooms later. So when you do go into breakouts a little bit later, I'll invite you to host yourself there as well. So just make sure you kind of at least have a little tiny introduction. There won't be a whole lot of space, but just a little bit of space for that. And this is the agenda. We'll be introducing this offers and needs market process, which I'm inviting everyone to participate in today. We will have a little space for the offers market, so 25 minutes there. We'll come back to this main room for some connection and just a little bit of reflection on our experience of that process. We will see how folks feel. Well, no, there is a space for a 3-minute break after that because the offers market can be a little bit intense. We'll then go into a needs market. So it'll be another breakout where you'll go and be sharing again with the same group. Then we will come back again, do a little bit of connection. We'll have some time for surveying and reflection. That is not actually 14 minutes because we don't have that much time. You have about 5 minutes for surveying and reflection. But that survey is going to be really important for me to tell me how this experience was for you. And then we will have a little 2-minute close. So hopefully this agenda meets your needs. If there is something else you need, please make sure you go ahead and put it in the chat. I will try to cover all of those as I'm explaining this offers and needs market process in just a moment. So if you do have questions that are immediate about the agenda, feel free to drop them into the chat. I'll try to answer them shortly. Okay, so a little bit of introduction to myself. My name is Mike Strode of the Coconut Collaborative, Chicago area time bank, service, labor, skills trading platform that allows people to exchange what they have to offer and what they need in their community using only time as the currency. So this is the origin point of the time bank. Some of the people who were involved in the Healthy Food Hub are here in this room. I'll invite you to just celebrate yourselves either in the chat or using emojis, however you would like. But at the Healthy Food Hub, where the Coconut Collaborative was born, back in maybe 2015 to 2017. This was when we were doing a yarn exercise and getting acquainted with this time banking process. And so you see kind of off to the side somewhere here, Chinyere Ote of the Cowrie Collective out of St. Louis, helping us think about how we are connected and how we can exchange our skills and our gifts on this web of community. And so that's how the time bank was born, inside of a food-based space. And so I invite you to think about how this offers and needs market process or this time bank could support the work that you are doing in your community. And I hope this practice fulfills and supports you in that work. So what is time banking again? So just reaffirming, it's just this reciprocity or network of reciprocity where time is the currency. So you see here, Anna is, receiving support, shooting and editing a YouTube video from Jono. And Anna is, having 2 hours taken out of their time bank, and then, providing that back with captioning a video in Japanese. So this is just people trading time, people trading hours. If I want to teach somebody how to ride a bike and it takes me an hour and a half to do it, that's how much I earn in the time bank. And then I have an hour and a half that I can use to have someone support me organizing my garage, because I always need that service. And now, what is an offers and needs market? What's this process that we're going to engage in today? This is a guided, facilitated process that invites community members, whether they are meeting in person or virtually, to really identify and exchange passions, knowledge, skills, resources, any opportunities, and needs. And I learned this technique from Post Growth Institute. I was doing a version of this type of facilitation before I met Post Growth. But this is something that really helped me to hone and sharpen the practice. And so this is what we're going to be engaging in today, this process that Post Growth Institute shared with me. So why an offers and needs market? I'm going to take you back a little bit. You see a very ancient picture of my now 19-year-old child when they were at Betty Shabazz International Charter School, and they wanted to learn the shekere. And I didn't necessarily know anyone who was teaching shekere, even though we were in Betty Shabazz. That was a little bit odd. But fortunately, inside of that school, a member of the community referred me for free. They said, hey, actually, Mama Veronica is a shekere instructor, and she loves teaching young people the shekere. You should ask her. And I asked Mama Veronica, and Mama Veronica said, of course, no problem. Of course, I'll teach them for free. And so my child was able to get shekere instruction from someone in the community for free. And then later on, I was like, what would be a really great gift? What if you had your own, what if she had her own shekere? And so Mama Veronica referred me over to another member of the community who makes shekares. And, they are an artisan and they charged a fair artisan's rate. And I was very happy to pay it. So here we have two transactions, one of them for free and one of them in dollars, that are fulfilling needs that I have in the community, people who are offering their skills up to me. And for me, the offers and needs market is really important so that we can surface some of those hidden skills, some of those hidden capacities that exist in our communities that people don't know to share. And so I want to share with you that I very rarely get to tell anyone that I spent 18 months as a semi-professional Jamaican folk dancer. And by semi-professional, I mean, I made all of about $300 performing. But, it's something I don't get to tell people a whole lot. And it's something that now about me. But in an offers and needs market, we can surface those skills that people don't think are beneficial or don't think are valuable, and allow ourselves to use them to build our community. So that's a little bit about the offers and needs market and why we need it. So I want to just prompt a little reflection for a moment, and this will be the first of many reflections. What kind of offers and needs can we share in a space like this? Anything related to opportunities to connect with someone, anything related to resources, our knowledge and our perspectives, our passions, our skills and services. And if you need a little bit of a deeper dive, think about what passions you have, right? Are you someone who likes to go out in nature? Are you someone who likes to be in conversation with other people about a specific topic or subject? Are you someone who has a unique perspective or a unique culture that they might like to share? Do you have a recommendation for, a good artisan or a good craftsperson or tradesperson that you might like to share? Is it something instructional that you know about? Is it a skill or a service? I love fermentation. I would love to talk to people about fermentation. Is it an opportunity that you have to share? Did you come across a really great job that you want to tell someone about? And maybe you actually do have some tangible or physical resource that you might want to share with someone, or even a referral. I have a great podcast library. All of these things are things that you can share inside of an offers and needs market. And so this is where we will get an opportunity for you to reflect on what you want to share. And so now I'm going to invite you to go into a little bit of reflection. We're going to have about 4 minutes at this time to think about, what am I passionate about? What are the resources that I'm connected to? What hidden talents would I love to share with another person? And what is something people always ask me about? So I want to invite you to just take out your piece of paper and take out your writing instrument. Hopefully you got those up at the top. And And just think about these questions. And I'll just drop these in the chat, but you can begin thinking about answers to these questions. And in a moment, I'm going to give you the pitch that we will be using in our breakout rooms to do this. So again, I'll put these questions in the chat, but they are: what am I passionate about? What resources am I connected to? What hidden talents would I love to share with another person? And what is something people always ask me about? So go ahead and take 4 minutes just to reflect on those questions and see what you can write down from your reflections. All right, we are preparing to come back from our silent reflection. I just want to see, would anyone like more time? You can put a Y in the chat if you need just another minute or so to think through the answers to these questions. So would anyone like more time? Just type a Y in the chat if so. Okay, so I'm not seeing anyone requesting more time. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. And Alex, if you'll just prepare the breakout rooms in just a moment, and I'll just give you all the prompt that you'll be using. So the offers market pitch. In a moment, you'll go into those breakout rooms, and here's the pitch that you'll be working with. You want to go ahead and say your offer, your availability, your location, and then the cost. And so, whatever your offer is, when you're available, is it anytime, sometimes, in an emergency, If location is important, like, what's the city or town, or is it virtual? And then any cost you have associated with it. So my example is, my name is Mike, and I'm offering meeting and workshop design and facilitation to support your community meetings. I'm available sometimes on a scheduled basis. The location can be in Chicago or virtual. I'm willing to accept barter, time bank credits, or dollars, depending upon the type of support needed. So that's your pitch that you're going to be working with. And, again, just your offer, your availability, location, and any cost you have associated with it. So that's your prompt for the breakout rooms. I want to see, before we prepare for these breakouts, if there are any questions about what you are about to do in this breakout room activity. Just feel free to throw a Q in the chat if you want to ask a question, and that way I can make sure that I see you. Does anyone have any questions about what we're about to do for the breakout? Okay. Just waiting another moment for any questions. Put a Q in the chat if you have a question. Just because I have your faces off to my left and I can't see you directly because I have the presentation up. Okay, I don't see any questions here. So just a quick note on the breakout room agenda. You'll have about 15 minutes in the breakout room. Just feel free to self-number yourself or organize yourself there for that first minute. You'll go around and you'll share your offers and needs. Just everybody say one need at a time and go around in a circle. And then you can silently reflect for a bit after you do your sharing of your offers rather. And then you have a moment for clarifying questions and discussion. So that's about how you'll use your 15 minutes. So just, say one need at a time, try to get at least one round where everybody gets one offer shared. And then after that, you can do another round if people have more offers to share. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing on the breakout rooms. I just want to see if anyone has any questions before I ask Alex to push the button. Okay, so if not, I'm going to go ahead and ask Alex to just go ahead and jettison you into your breakout rooms of about 3 people. Okay, and I'm going to stop my All right, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope that that was a nourishing opportunity. We'll just wait for everyone to return from the breakout rooms. Oh, people are really nourishing that 60 seconds. Yeah. Folks love to hold on to that 60 seconds, right down to the timer. Yes, yes. I hope that folks were nourished in the breakout rooms that have just occurred. I hope that you had an opportunity to hear an offer that was meaningful and important to you, and that you connected with. And yeah, I want to, invite anyone who would like to share their experience, or at least two people, or one up to two people. Anyone who wants to share their experience, just throw a Y into the chat, and I'll just invite you to just talk briefly about your experience. So we're looking for maybe up to two people who might like to share what their experience of the breakout room was. Just throw a little Y in the chat. That's all there is. A voluntary Y. If you would like to share your experience, you're also invited to just type your experience in the chat if you're like, nah, I don't want to get on mic. But this is just a moment to connect and see what we were able to do in the offers market round, because we're going to do a needs market, and that's where we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So put a Y in the chat if you wanted to share your experience. Oh, there's a Y. We got one. Jennifer, why don't you come on and share your experience? I'll await if there's another Y that comes after you.
So I was in a chat with Melody G and Marissa Martinez, and I just think that that was a really interesting way to get to know someone. We ended up being able to go around kind of more than one round. One was a little personal, like what are some things that we're excited about or that we can offer that we do. And then we, did a rounds about things that has to do with work. And it was just really amazing to hear people from their perspective present the things that they're working on and how intertwined they were, even though we were randomly put in. And it was really exciting to hear people doing things that you may not have expected were even happening, and really fascinating to see how some of those things intersected. So I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the second part of it.
What else inspired to share their experience after hearing Jennifer's lovely time? I'm seeing some heart emojis. I saw, during the shares, some faces, some excitement. And, I even heard some people's organizational names spoken in rooms that they were not in. I'm just gonna leave that to mystery. What was that about? So that's the important thing about the offers and needs market. We have the opportunity to share these connections and make these connections. And yeah, we can make the breakout rooms a lot less awkward. Let's go for that. And hopefully someday you'll get to hear the story of 18 months of semi-professional Jamaican folk dancing with Horace Brown of Pocomania. Yeah, that was tough. We are scheduled after this for a 3-minute breakout. I want to test the temperature of the room. Do folks feel like they want a brief 3-minute break here? Just you can say, yeah, let's do that. Do folks feel the need for a break? Okay, so I'm getting a no thank you. I got a thumbs up. I got a thumbs down. We got a little bit of voting. If we coast through the break, does anyone feel like they cannot stand being on Zoom? Does anyone not consent to skipping the break? Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll coast through the break, and that actually buys us a little bit of time to all right. I'm going to share my screen again, and we will get right on to the next part of this this particular share. We're not looking at community dinners because that was something that I learned in my breakout room. Okay, so we are on to the needs market. Now, our needs market reflection questions back again for us are, what is a challenge that I'm experiencing right now? What is something I would like to learn? What is a resource I would like to be connected to? What is something I need the support of other people to do? Now, I know you feel like you've discovered everything you need to know about the people you were in breakout rooms with. What we may do is I'll invite Alex to just reshuffle the rooms, and maybe you can be in conversation with the new group of people. But these are the questions. What is a challenge that I'm experiencing right now? What is something I would like to learn? What is a resource I would like to be connected to? What is something I need the support of other people to do? And I'm going to invite you to just take a few moments to write down on your paper some answers to those questions. We can go ahead and take 4 minutes here before we go into breakouts. In fact, we'll take 3 minutes here. You're pros at this, so you might need a little less time. 3 minutes to reflect on these questions. I'm going to put them in the chat and I'm going to shut up. All right. Just inviting you back from your reflection space. Is there anyone that needs a little bit more time with these questions? Throw a Y in the chat. If you want a little bit more time to lean in these questions, you can put a Y in the chat. Okay, I am not seeing any Ys in the chat at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and take it to the next slide here, and we will have our needs market pitch. So for needs, very similar. Just say your need, say your level of urgency. Is it urgent, semi-urgent, not urgent at all? Any location associated with your need, city, town, virtual, and then any payment you are willing to offer up for someone supporting you with that need. Is it dollars per hour, barter, negotiable, seeking it for free? And I want to name that needs can be a vulnerable space. So I invite you to lean into that vulnerability, really think blue sky, think about your biggest needs. It may not be in this room, but someone may be connected to the need that you are hesitant to express. So blue sky, vulnerability, and holding space for each other is a really great place to be in. An example that I'll offer is that my name is Mike. I need a practice space for organizations which want to implement sociocracy. I am in Sociocracy Academy right now. This is semi-urgent because the academy is only a year long, and I'm going to need some practice in the course of this year. The organization can be in Chicago, or I can offer virtual support. And I'm asking for this referral for either free, barter, or time bank credits. So you see, I've expressed my need, I've expressed my urgency, my location, and my payment. We're going to go into some breakouts, make sure people get at least one need in the round. And then we will come back. I just want to pause and see if there are any questions about this pitch we're about to do before we go into breakouts. Any questions? If not, I will invite Alex to go ahead and send us into a breakout one more time.
Do we want to do 15 minutes again?
Let's do 14.
Okay.
All right. See you, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Stop my share.
You got to go, Alex.
Yeah, so I'm gonna transition to you right now.
Yeah, make me big old host, not co-host.
Definitely.
Thank you. Excellent. Okay, have a good night. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm gonna send an email to Mike right now.
Thank you. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, later.
Bye. Hey, Carmen.
Hey, what's going on, Seth?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm trying to listen to two things at once and get my bag packed to get out of here, but I'm trying to hang in here for the rest of the afternoon. And I'm loving this particular segment with Mike. How about you?
I'm doing great. We're so excited to have Mike. He's such a incredibly experienced and talented facilitator. This is a good one.
Yeah, I've been knowing him for quite a while. We used to hang out together at the Healthy Hood Club when it was back at Betty Shabbat School. It's been a while to watch to be able to. I'm seeing all the children grow. I guess that's what I'm saying. Is that
Yeah.
I'm seeing them all come to fruition, and it's really nice. So, yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm 28 now, and I'm just starting to have those feelings. Or I've had a couple of high school interns that are now graduating college, and seeing them get their first full-time jobs and kind of figure out what career path they want to take it's so nice.
Right. And it was so funny. I used to be a career counselor back early, maybe the late 1990s. One of the individuals, Kamala, she was a student at the school when I was a counselor there. And now she's back and she's actually working in that arena to try to bring things to help with the agricultural program that has finally, after 20 something years, someone has actually taken notes, but they have a new chancellor now, so it's making it a lot easier for new ideas or old ideas that people are trying to revive to bring them back to fruition. So
That's amazing.
yeah. So and it's always somebody new on this and at these summits. So I've been hanging around them for a long time too. So I'm learning a lot of new stuff too.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't want to run out of time and then we go back into the session and we don't have as far as what need things are. I am looking at trying to find ways to be able to come to be urban and off grid. So I'm looking at a lot of methods in terms of which I can do that in. The water situation was one of the first things that I dealt with, and
Yeah.
dealing with dealing with the AUA, and I'm trying to think of maybe it was Neighbor Space that was involved with it, but there's they had a program last year in which they were assisting urban farmers with the water. It didn't work for me. I went to get one of those vats and they gave me some dirty stuff. I took it back, and then I went and begged everybody for some rain barrels. So now I have a very efficient rain barrel system. And when I came to find out that even though the community that I'm working out of um, does not pay water, I mean, does not have a water situation, they do pay Chicago for water, don't operate under Chicago's rules and regulations. So, but I was able to work through that to the point where, because myself and there are three other urban farmers in my immediate area, one of them has a much larger facility than I am, but because he doesn't own the land, he's having a little bit more difficult than I am. And I barter and trade with fire department through the Master Gardener program. So I do beautification on both of the firehouses that are in my district. So therefore I get water. So they don't mind coming clean up my containers when I'm low or if there's not been enough rainfall for me to be able to capture water. And then I've worked out a situation with the city for a hydrant and a meter where I don't have to go through all of the equipment purchase. They will do the hookup for me, and they'll put a meter on it, and then therefore all I have to do is have my whole connection, which one of the municipals from the water department before he retired, he just gave me one, and I didn't know why he gave it to me, but he said, "You if you take this, hold on to it. It's eventually going to come back to something that you need." But now I'm looking at communication as far as being off the grid with everything. I didn't really, when I volunteered that day down with Dose, I had a chance to be able to talk with Kenyatta, the guy who is actually building, and I didn't realize how much I actually knew about solar from just reading books and watching YouTube stuff because I could talk to him about power, volts, and wattage, stuff like that. That he was just unbelievable that I had that type of knowledge and I could understand what he was doing as far as he was building that particular system for them. Um, that got me led into another situation where I'm comfortable with the idea of solar. I just have not started to build on it, which I'm hoping to do this year, um, to not only to build a system that's going to be able to supply the growing space, but also in terms of to remove me off of the grid from my living space, which is real easy. Just get a bunch of generators, solar generators, make sure I got enough panels and that I understand my flow in terms of how much current I'm actually using. But I want to learn ham radio. There's a gentleman that's in my neighborhood. I do have a ham radio. I used to use it a lot back in the 80s and 90s, and I'm glad I kept my equipment. But now, where is that? Um, because my job required that I do a lot of traveling, and I did it in my cars because I didn't want to fly, because it was just as much time in my car as it was going to the airport, get on a plane, and then have to go from there. So it's just easier for me to drive. But now I'm finding out that licensure is a big issue. But there's a gentleman that lives near me about, I'm probably going to say about 800 yards from where I am. And
Wow.
he has a tower. But he also is a nuisance in the neighborhood for the moment because when he locks up, he not everything. So what I want to do is I want to learn that skill, um, in terms of being able to have that level of communication. So therefore, I can omit all of my communication in terms of it, except for my laptop and my phone. I'm not a television watcher, and I do have devices that allow me to be able to hear shortwave radio. That's where I am now, and I think that having a device like that and sense of emergency based upon what I'm trying to build for myself and my community is a natural medicine center where I'm growing not only food that will help them to heal themselves, but I'm also growing plants that can be turned into medicine. So therefore, in emergency situations or short-term situations, I can be able to supply an individual what is needed to maybe not save their lives, but to prolong it to the point where they can get to someone who may be a little bit more skilled if that's needed. So
Yeah.
that's where I am.
What a huge goal to get off grid.
Yeah.
That is a big one.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. There's a um I'm using commercial things now, but I'm learning that I don't necessarily have to deal with that either. I have water filters so that if the water becomes any worse than it is, because I don't drink the water now, but so I drink water through filters and I don't drink bottled water, but I do stock it in case I need a bath. And maybe I have to boil it to cook with. But I have just recently taken a trip with my sisters who do survival things up in Alaska, and I have learned how to filter water and to burn the wood in order to get the charcoal so that I can filter the water so that I have it now. Now, beyond two tin cans
Whoa.
in the stream, yeah, I still haven't gotten that communication thing down. So that's my next step is getting it off, providing a shelter and providing heat. I can everything, girl. I can so much stuff. I gave away so much canned food, and I didn't realize I should have made them pay for the jars and the lids because now I those things are a shortage. But I'm asking everybody that I supply stuff with to return them, at least the jars, so that I would be able to be of a service to them for a bit next year, or if things get real bad. But I don't have a guest room anymore. I got a pantry. So now I have the food stock. But anyway, that's enough about me. Tell me you.
Well, I was going to ask, so really quickly, folks are going to come back in 2 minutes. Are you familiar with living machines as water filtration systems?
Now they have a filter inside of them, just like the Berkey, just like the Kangen water and the True Life. Those are all good. They're all good machines. The Berkey is the only one that is really portable. I mean, that is truly portable. Um, but when that filter is no longer usable, what are you going to do? You need
Oh,
to have that. You need to know that skill. So as long as you can afford 200 to $300 for a filter, and I think the living one is they're running anywhere like 150 to $250 per filter as well. So they're great for short-term survival. If the power goes out, then you have no you it will not work. So if you cannot purchase or get access or stocking filters, and even sometimes you would stock a charcoal filter, if it's not used, the one that are commercially provided, they will not work. They will dry out. So learning that skill on how to burn some wood, get you some beat up rocks and filter your own water. So it doesn't matter how dirty the water is. And you don't need a whole lot of apparatus for it. I went to Walmart last week because I started early, started collecting my coffee. When I came back off this camping trip, I went and started collecting from Walmart's in the bakery department those the buckets that the icing comes in that they make the cakes out of. Those make great containers. All you gotta do is drill a hole into the bottom of it, stick the stuff down in there, put a little
Carmen,
PVC tube,
just
and
going to interrupt you. I definitely appreciate the skill share. We just got folks right back into the room. So you all got a taste of an extended skill share that was happening because a few folks dropped out and hopped back into the main room. So I hope that that sort of needs marker was nourishing. We've had a little bit of fall off, so they won't get to participate in the most fun part, which is this next connection. So thank you very much for all of that sharing that just happened. And I want everyone to try to open this spreadsheet that I'm going to put in here. Oh, and there's a little ant on my desk. Where did that come from? Okay, so if you want to go ahead and just try opening up that that spreadsheet, I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share and show you what you're getting into. So, hey, you all have already done a bunch of sharing, and look at those little emojis that are coming into this place, this connection place. So this is a harvest point, right? You've had an opportunity to talk to each other, and you've had an opportunity to share some offers and some needs. And now this is an opportunity, if you want to harvest, to throw some harvest in here so people can find you later. So we'll have about 8 minutes in this connection section. And what you just do here is if you take a little block here and you put name, person, and you click on this offer sheet. Oh, wait, the magic didn't happen. Why did that magic happen? Oh, because I was entering in the wrong sheet. I was in the wrong tab. Look at me. You can see me being a facilitator in real time doing the wrong thing. Don't go to the offers and needs sheet and put your name in. On the participant list, you type name, you type person, and then the magic happens. Look at that. A named person gets 3 whole lines, and you can put any offer in there, and look, you've got 3 whole lines on the need sheet too. So I'm going to leave the name person in there. And if you want to go to this participant tab and just, put your information in one of these fields, you can just claim a section. Feel free to go ahead and start claiming your name section now on the participant list if you are interested. And then while you're doing that, while you're determining if you want to claim a section, I'll just tell you what else happens. So you've got your name, you've got your email here. On this offers tab, you can put down, 1 to 3 of those offers that you shared. I talked about fiscal sponsorship consultation as a tool for social change. I talked about fermentation, kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut, and kimchi. And I talked about meeting and workshop design as things that I am willing to share with you all. And I'm still willing to share them with you if this workshop ends and you want to kind of get into a share. And then for needs, in my breakout, I talked about those peer relational check-ins. I talked about sociocracy practice, and I didn't get a chance to talk about community partners to host offers and needs markets, but that's a need that's out there too. So again, if you want to put your name in the sheet, this is just a way for if you want to talk to people afterwards, or if you want people to follow up with you, that we can. If you all have already exchanged information and you're like, you know what, I don't necessarily know if I need another person in my email box or on my calendar, that's okay. But this is an opportunity that if you wanted to do any sort of follow-up or further exchange after this session is done, you can. So I will leave that there for a few moments to see if anyone wants to drop into a field. And, I see some folks kind of thinking through it, seeing if they want to dive in. Up. The sheet is magically filling in. While people are over here claiming squares, I'm going to go and look at this. Look at this magical sheet just filling in with names, claiming your section and your opportunity to share your offers, claiming your section and your opportunity to share your needs. Oh, and it looks like maybe Carmen doesn't have enough fields over here. Let me just look at why this is broken. All right, we'll fix that in a moment. And we will stay here for about another 5 minutes for anyone who does want to connect. And This is just an opportunity that, like, if you do this in your community, you could actually use this exact same spreadsheet. I would have to fix a few fields because this need sheet is broken. I'm just going to go over here and do this while people are doing stuff. Let's put one row above. My, someone has done the annotation. We will clear that annotation. Okay, great. Clear and close that. I used to be a tech geek in another life. Let me see what's in the chat. I can't access the spreadsheet right now, but we'll do after work. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if people are, wow, look at this whole miniature time bank just filling up. People are talking about brand strategy. They're talking about being a sounding board. There's supply chain consulting and strategy development. There's folks who are out here making websites and debugging. There's some rural outreach strategies, brainstorming, hype woman, business review case pitch competition. This is the abundance of community materializing in real virtual time. Here's some folks talking about community organizing, business review case and pitch competitions. Yes, we'll continue holding here for another about 2 minutes here, and then we'll switch, and I will ask you to give me one more piece of support on a survey. But it's amazing how much we could do in such a brief time. Let's see if something's happening on the needs sheet. Not yet. Up. Some help with grant writing would be appreciated. Spanish lessons. Great suggestion, Mike. It was totally not mine. Whatever you need, whatever you would want to ask someone about or ask for support with, you can go ahead and ask. And someone just might be here to support you, or they might know somebody who can support you. And as we're doing this, I just want to remind you that this is a very lightweight process, that, you know, this is not something that's very, very difficult. I'm going to throw one link in the chat that you might want to take note of. And, you know, I'll remind you of this at closing. This is just part of our announcements. If you're interested in getting trained as an offers and needs market facilitator, there's a training coming up. I'm co-hosting with Crystal Arnold of Post Growth Institute. You know, and actually, I think there's at least one person on this line that's already registered. I was looking at the participant spreadsheet today. But it did say $300 on there, but there is certainly a scholarship. There's opportunities to barter. There's opportunities to go at lower rates, right? You know, there's all sorts of things. This is an accessible training. No one will be disallowed here. And so if you really want to figure out this process for yourself, this is about a 4-week training. And then you can, but you don't have to take the training. You could actually just like take this right back to your community. And if you feel like you got a grasp of it, do it. You don't need any permission from me. You don't need any permission from the Post Growth Institute. This is your community process to take and run with. And I will give you one more resource in the chat before we go over to this survey, which is going to be this toolkit on the Cola Nut Collaborative website, which contains a couple of videos about time banking, but most importantly, it actually contains this little booklet which has the entire offers and needs market process in it. So, you know, you see, we're not trying to gatekeep. No one's trying to license here. But if you want to get some practice with some folks on this process, the training is there. If you just want to go and like run this with your community, take that booklet. You know, it's probably easier. And then, yeah, while you're at it, you can certainly take note of that spreadsheet. You know, you have the link there. You can follow up with some of these people. I'm going to stop my screen share now so that we can get on to the next piece that's going to be really important here, which is 5 minutes for this survey. So at the end of all of these trainings, this survey, which says it takes 7 minutes to complete, but I had to shave some time off the survey because of the limits of the container. If you could fill out that survey, this just tells me a few things about your experience today. What did you like about the market? How many offers and needs market did you attend before? You know, how many things you might want to follow up on. This survey is going to be very helpful for me personally in terms of, you know, improving my process, making sure this is a great experience for other folks who might go through it. And I am willing to extend 30 minutes on my Calendly. I know I give my Calendly out very liberally, you know, for folks to just book offers with me. But if you want to have like a facilitation consult, or you want to have an offers and needs market consult, I'm willing to throw up 30 minutes for folks who fill out this survey. If you fill out that survey, you can just like take 30 minutes on my calendar and, you know, we can talk facilitation. And that will be very helpful for me. We'll hold here for about 3 minutes just to give folks time to look over this survey. Again, I know it's shorter than the survey speaks about, but you know, there's just a few questions, just an opportunity to reflect on this event. And then if you might want to learn the process, you can also drop some information in here about yourself and tell us how to reach out to you. And you already have the information for the next training, but just another opportunity for us to improve the process of this offers and needs market and help us to make this a great experience in the future. So I'm going to stop talking for another 3 minutes and stop my screen share. Right. And there are some responses coming in. There's 3 so far. It's okay if you didn't get a chance to finish it during the session. We're about to wind down because the one thing that I love as a facilitator is ending on time. And yes, thank you, Cosmos, for asking that question. I love talking about Mama Septima Clark and the Highlander Folk School and the Citizenship School movement and popular education in the US, which is what she was. She was a popular educator. All right, we're at two minutes. So I just want you to think for a moment. I just want you, maybe you can reach out your fingertips and just think about the web of connections that you have. So if you just want to wave your fingertips at the web of connections, think about the threads of everybody that you are connected to today. Think about the threads of the people that they are connected to today. Think about the threads of the people that those people are connected to. And then eventually 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. If you don't want to get to Kevin Bacon, I don't know, go somewhere else, maybe it's Denzel, somebody that you want to get connected to. You are only 7 exchanges from reaching that person. And I really hope that you have an opportunity to meet that person through all of these exchanges and collaboration and abundance that you share in this community and in your own community. Go forth and prosper. Thank you. All right, all right. We're at our conclusion point. Oh, and go back to the main room. I mean, I didn't give you a chance to announce that. Go back to the main floor. Don't
That's
just
okay. For folks that are still around, thank you so much for being here. As Mike said, we do have another survey. It's really a poll. It's very short. I believe it's 3 or 4 questions. You could head back over to the main event platform. Let me grab the link actually. It's just to gather how you're feeling at the end of the day, and then also give Mike and SIFPAC feedback on how we organized the session. Ooh, I should have grabbed this link already. Thank you for reminding me, Mike. If you didn't remind me, I don't think I would have done this. Okie doke, here we go. Appreciate everyone's patience. Very quick, 3 to 4 question, multiple choice poll for you all. Thank you again, and we hope that we see you tomorrow. We have sessions happening in the morning, and then we also have a closing panel where 3 Indigenous women are going to share seed stories. I'm really excited for that one.
all right. Be well, all.